Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you are a righteous 8-figure, 9-figure entrepreneur who wants to build a bulletproof banking setup in the best jurisdictions in this world with great investments, righteous investments, then you are lucky, because my name is Aziz, Samuel Aziz, the banking sultan, Samuel Aziz Boubaous. We are here in our Dubai office at the Emirates Towers, the Wall Street of Dubai. It's soon 10 in the evening. We are here since 6 in the morning, no food, full focus. I just wanted to go home, but my team told me, please make this one video. And I said, which video? They said, why rich people never use these banks. Why? Because most of you, especially the righteous entrepreneurs, lose almost all of their money long term with the wrong banks, with the wrong advisors. And this video will make sure that this can't happen to you. So first, I want to go with you through all these scams, through the worst banking jurisdictions that most people use, the worst banks overall. And then at the end of the video, I want to reveal what really works. So it doesn't matter if you make $10 million, $100 million, $1 billion, you don't need to worry about your money at all. And the great thing is, it's not only serving you long term, it's already serving you short term, because soon I go home, eat and sleep, and I can sleep in peace, relaxed, because I know my money is safe, because I know I've built a bulletproof setup, I have backups, and most of you don't have it. And I realize, especially in the game where I'm in financial services, with wealthconsulting.com, privateprocessing.com, isanbank.com, it's basically like a sink, and the money is just flowing. And if you're on my level, the money is coming, it's not stopping. And the issue then is, with most of these people who do the same, they just go crazy. And that's why the one wallet that we have here are our Islamic core principles, and they are number one for me, so that I remind myself every single day that it's most important that everything is done with the right intention, that I get barakah from it, that I have a hereafter, to think long term and to not get my emotions in my way. But most people, we have so many clients in Dubai, there was so much fraud with crypto scams, and you know this, guys, so much scam investment funds, lost all the money with these banks or with shady merchant service providers. And the number one reason is that these providers, they don't have these values. They just think about, okay, I need to get all the money, whatever. They think short term. And I realize, especially in capitalistic cities, it's a disease. They all think short term. It's the sharks. Nobody cares. But the advantage is, if you think long term, and this is what we do with our clients, that the client relationship is forever. And inshallah, that the son of the client is working with my son, and so on. And this makes you more happy automatically. So let's start with step number one, is that you can sleep peacefully today after watching this video, not worrying about your money anymore. The first bad banks where most people lose their money are offshore banks in low-level jurisdictions. And you get scammed because, number one, you follow these people who disagree with our righteous Islamic principles. So it's already the first issue. And number two, you don't even understand the core issue of your banking problems. So you guys think somebody just holds my money. Now I only have an online chat. The wires don't get approved. Or how people say, banks, they are all headache. Nothing works. These banks just annoy you. But there's a reason why they annoy you. Because these banks are in an international system. The Wild West Swiss banking 100 years ago, where you can do whatever you want, it's over. So there's compliance all over the world. There's KYC all over the world. Common reporting standard in most of these countries. And if you would understand it, you wouldn't fall for this scam. But what you do, you watch these other YouTubers, which you should all unsubscribe and only subscribe to this channel here, which tell you, you have all these issues, open a bank account in Belize. Belize is the worst example. I know so many people who lost all their money in Belize, setting up a company there or a bank account. Look, the West is so controlled, but here in South America, you are free, you can do whatever you want. Or in Africa. And then you put this money there, and at least you didn't get shot. This is already good. But these countries can do whatever they want. Just imagine how much this is in third world countries for a bank. They are maybe not third world countries, but Malta, Cyprus, many people recommend these countries. It doesn't work on a high level. Or even the best of the second-class offshore banking jurisdictions like Armenia or like Georgia, they are not created for rich people. I still need to fly to Georgia since 3 or 4 years because I still have money with Bank of Georgia and I can't send the money because I don't have my Georgian phone number anymore. These banks are great because we have employees in Azerbaijan. For them, Bank of Georgia is great. But this video is about 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs. And these banks are not created for you. So avoid all of these third world country banks. And I know we are hating many times on the West and the degradation. But when it comes to rule of law, the West is the best. Because even if you are in some Eastern European countries, to make business you need to be mafia. There are countries where billionaires just disappear. And in the West, it's not that common. And that's why you need to put your money into first world countries with the best banks only. Only the country will not save you because we gave up the hope on any country in the world. And I will share with you these countries and these banks later on. But first, let's face the second issue, or the other type of banks, which are also capable of just destroying your business, destroying your wealth. And these are Fintech bank accounts. They are only harmful for you because you don't understand the core issues. You don't even understand how they work. And that's why I will repeat it one more time. Fintech banks are financial technology platforms. They are an app, and they are just between the bank and you. And they are great. Fast onboarding, you can add your employees, it's nice, but they are not safe for a lot of money. And a small FDIC insurance in the US or somewhere, it's not much. Because we are talking about successful people here. And we focus on this type of people. Why? Because I feel we want to create a new digital Islamic golden age. And I personally think that managing the righteous people with a lot of influence can really create positive impact. And this is what this channel is about, because this is what my experience is all about. So let's continue. You don't understand how Fintech Bank works. And that's your issue. Just understand, if you have a little bit of money, use them. Get started with it. But as soon as you have a few $100K, you need a proper local bank. I remember this time where I didn't get it. I was setting up a US LLC. I left the Germany matrix and Mercury and Relay. It was just going up and up and up. And I felt that nobody can destroy me. And this is the issue that you have with a lot of money sometimes, that you just lose basic understanding of what's happening. And then they just blocked me and I didn't have a good bank account anymore. And that's when I started to realize these fintech banks, they are only great for a little bit of money. And in theory, they could be great, even like a private bank, but they have it in their policy, as I'm always telling you, because this is the common sense in this industry, to be cool and hip in Silicon Valley, to be a tech nerd, no personal support, only an online chat. The company says if a client creates issue, just block him, no explanation, and you can read it in their terms, and that's why you need it sometimes to read it if you don't get it. But if they would think another way, if they would think, hey, let's combine these two, we can be also old school, have the private banking support, then this would be the best of both worlds. But there's no solution out there, and that's what we want to create with Islam Bank in the future, inshallah, but more about these topics in the future. So, just for you to understand, if you have more than 100K on your bank account, it's time for local banks. So, let's reveal my favorite local banks, especially for business. And the first country is the US, and we also filmed a separate video about JP Morgan Chase review, so click the link in the description. And the US is a tool for me. So I see the people who have zero impact on this world, and all they do every single day is watching news and hate each country and each other ethnicity and religion. Stop with all of this. And the most righteous clients of us who have so much positive impact, who create jobs, who do a lot of charity, they just focus on what's in their power. And an easy start, that's how I saw it, the best start, where is most money created as easy as possible as a Western person, is the US. Because there is BRICS, but I can't fly now to Russia and China and do the same that I'm doing in the US. And the clients of us who make most of their money, especially in e-commerce, do it in the US. It's at least where 60% of all the revenue is coming from. And if you are a person which does an English-speaking business, and there's a high chance, we have a lot of British clients, I mean, I'm speaking German, English here, We have European clients, but the most successful ones do their business in English because it's scalable around the world. It's just numbers. And if you want to be really successful, you need to stop guessing. You need to look at numbers. I have one good client. He's the number one in e-com in the Arab countries, by the way, but you can't achieve the same scale. If you sell to the US, to UK, to Australia, to New Zealand, and so on, the scale is on another level, and it's still easy, still good rule of law. And the easiest way is to just use the system for the advantage, because the system is so easy, it's great, and that's what all the rich people of us are doing. And I tried all the local banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citibank, but the number one option is JP Morgan Chase, where you absolutely don't need to worry at all. And at the beginning, it was hard to learn how it really works, but I always reminded myself there are companies here who make 100 million, 1 billion, and they use the same bank. So I just need to find a way. And many times, if you don't get the VIP treatments with this kind of banks, it's just because you don't have enough money. We live in a world where the money solves all issues. That's why I want to see more money in the hand of righteous people to create solutions and solve issues. So Chase definitely helped me. I don't need to worry at all. Sometimes I have $15 million on this bank account, and I keep the cash to be open for new possibilities. And this helped me to hire more than 100 people around the world and to do great things and to build a proper long-term vision which can have a lot of positive impact to the world. So this is the number one step. Many of you struggle with it because you need to fly to the US if you're non-US citizen, non-US resident. They want a lot of documents, a lot of proof, and for many of you it's not worth it. If you're lucky, there will be a link in the description because sometimes we help clients with it, but we only have a few slots every month because it's not a scalable solution. And we could potentially solve these problems for you if you're a righteous person. The second jurisdiction on our list is Singapore. And also there we filmed a great Singapore offshore banking video a few weeks ago. So also check this link in the description. And Singapore is the gold standard, especially for personal banking. And if you have at least 350,000 Singaporean dollar, it's actually quite easy to open a bank account in Singapore, especially for personal banking. But it's also possible if you have a Hong Kong Limited, because a lot of successful clients of us have a Hong Kong Limited, to open a Singapore bank account for your Hong Kong Limited. And if you have a residency in Southeast Asia, it's more easy to get approved. So I have the Thai Elite visa. We have a lot of clients who have the Thai LTR visa or Malaysia MMH2 visa or something else. It's more easy. But overall, if you bring the money, it's easy. Only if you are in some blacklisted country, you have the citizenship of a blacklisted country, then they will probably reject you. Otherwise, easy. The number one bank there is DBS. DBS private banking is amazing. And you really feel this is the number one bank because it's probably one of the only local banks I know which are stable. I think it's every year basically rated as the most stable bank in Asia. But number two, they're also crypto friendly. Number three, they're innovative. They have a great bank, so they really combine everything. This is the number one recommendation. Number two would be UOB, United Overseas Bank, because it's all over Asia. And number three, this is in theory my favorite, it's my bank, because it's an Islamic bank. And I would always prefer the Islamic banks if I would know if they're really Islamic or not, number one, which is really hard to say. And number two, it's just they don't approve you basically as a non-resident. So if you're a resident in Malaysia or Singapore, it's great. If you're non-resident, this is the practical step, DBS. The third country is, I already mentioned the country, Hong Kong, because besides of the US, the other 50% of our most successful clients use a Hong Kong Limited. And also there, you can start with the fintech banks, but you need a proper local bank long term. And there are basic choices like OCBC. Again, you also have DBS, you have UOB, you also have Citibank. There are many options, and it's basically the same. Put a few 100K there, and you have local bank accounts. The more money you put in there, and the better connections you have, the better your treatment is. So don't get disappointed if you put in a lot of money there and you still don't get treated really well. There's sometimes only one thing that you need to change. You need to have a better banker, and that's why we can help you with it in many cases. And also there with Hong Kong, if your business is in Europe or in Asia, this is the ultimate solution. And you also don't need to worry about it at all. And how I personally do it, in all these countries, I have my corporate banking, but I also have personal banking. And I just leave the money there many times if I don't have a proper investment, because I feel that if you want to achieve billionaire level, you just need to have sometimes cash sitting around. That's what I learned from almost all billionaires. We have 2 countries left on our list. One country is obvious. That's where we're right now. It's the UAE. I love the GCC. I love Qatar. I love Saudi. But UAE is just what works. Again, it's just a practical step. I can tell you about all the options in the world. If it's not practical, you don't see a way how to do it, you just don't do it. So I want to give you the practical step first, and then we can make the fine-tuning. And UAE is practical. And what's nice here is, like I'm always telling you with wealth consulting, company set up in a few days, golden visa in a few days, and you have a lot of options. You have the regular banks, which are becoming global banks, like ADCB, First Abu Dhabi Bank, Emirates MBD, but you also have good Islamic banks. You have Emirates Islamic Bank, which I can only recommend for personal banking, not for corporate banking. Then you have Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank, ADIB. These are probably the best choices. And for private banking, I would choose ADIB. And it's one of the top Islamic banks, which is really great for high-level people. The first time where I realized this, I'm always looking at shallow things sometimes to get a picture of a place. And many times it's always true. Because if you visit us, you see everything is clean, everything is done perfectly, high quality, and this is how our company works. And if I go to a bank and it's already strange, then the banking won't be better. And I was in London and I saw this ADIB building. It's in one of the most expensive buildings, I guess. So I thought, oh, okay, so they're focused on high level, they do something. The Islamic banking experience, and I'm trying to build a better one. I wouldn't say it's on the same level like Switzerland or Singapore or the UAE or the US. But it's getting closer and closer, and it's developing every single year. And I think it's perfect, especially for personal banking. The GCC is a place where you want to build a personal base, where you want to have personal investments, the same how I see Singapore, and that's why it's great for personal banking. And most money is printed with Hong Kong Limiteds and with US LLCs, so you need the corporate banking there. And that's it, basically. What's left on our list? Left is obviously Switzerland. We are talking a lot about it, so maybe if you want to see a separate video about Swiss private banking, write it into the comments and write all your questions into the comments. And Swiss private banking was the gold standard in all the movies, and I still think the banks are quite safe and it's not anonymous anymore. But if you structure things right, all these banks can be anonymous. A US LLC is anonymous as a non-US citizen, non-US resident, so the bank account is basically anonymous and doesn't have data exchange to all these countries around the world. So you don't need a third world bank account. It's just because these people that you listen to are third world with their advice. That's why they don't do anything properly. And the same is in Switzerland. They like to work with Cook Islands Trust, with offshore entities, and they give you a Swiss bank account. So don't use an offshore bank account in a third world country. Just use this entity, but then use Swiss banking, and then your money is safe. And you get treated well from the private banks. They just work more old school. So I feel that Singapore is like the modern version of Swiss banking, but Switzerland is still in the game. Then sometimes we help clients to open bank accounts, Islamic banks like Al Rajhi Bank in Saudi Arabia, because in Saudi it's really the #1 bank anyways, so it's the best solution, which is great if you want to live in Saudi or if you want to do business in Saudi. Then it's really a great choice. I also like the Islamic banks in Qatar, because I just like Qatar and I just want to build some substance there. But at the end of the day, most of my money is still there where the business works, where the money is flowing basically. And I would say the first option there is the US and Hong Kong. So if you're a high-level entrepreneur and we have open slots, we can help you and connect you with all these banks. And I can share with you all the secret sauce to get approved. But in the long term, our vision is to build the best of both worlds. To have local banks with all the fintech abilities, with only doing righteous things. And that's why we started with Isam Bank to apply for the banking license in Hong Kong and in the US. And it's a long way, but we see clear steps how we can do it. And you will never achieve this point anyways, where you know everything 100%. But what we could do here and what we are doing here already for a long time is we just build the most righteous community in the world. And we are gifted by Allah with our strength to make money So we need to use it, and we should just develop together every single day to learn more about what we can actually do with our money. And I feel like the more money we accumulate, the more we need to think about what actually happens with this money. This was the number one reason why I'm always telling you, don't pay too much taxes in the West, because you know the money, where the money is going. It's not great. It's not good. The practical step is, if you do business, it's okay. I can only share with you what works for me, and there are clearly things which worked perfectly. Start with the Western banks, print the money, and then step by step learn how to do righteous investments without riba, which are not haram, which are not promoting anything bad in this world. I think we can do this. And if you think you're a righteous person and you have the same principles, the same values, and you feel that you should have more money and not the people with the wrong values, and you need somebody who's really trustworthy, that you can blindly trust with all your money. We have clients who send all the money and don't care because they know they can trust us. Then that's us. And we take care of everything for you as an 8 or 9 figure entrepreneur. You don't need to worry about your payment processing. That's why we have private processing. You don't need to worry about your banking. And you don't need to worry about your company setup and your residency with wealthconsulting.com. If you want to learn more about how we can help you to grow and protect your wealth, then just check our websites and apply if you think you could get approved. And I would say, see you on the call with our team. See you in the next video, or see you in real life here in the office, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.